Good morning, everyone. Namaste. We're going to call in Archangel Michael to clear, cleanse the space, fall negative and lower vibrations from our mind, body, and soul, home and hearts, placing the white light of protection on us with his blue seal. We are going to be reading today. We're going to call in the Ascended Masters. These are some of the Ascended Masters: Jesus, Mother Mary, Krishna, Buddha. So, amongst many, many others. So this is the complete ascension manual on how to achieve ascension in this lifetime. And we're still reading on chapter 1, the story of creation. Mind is the builder, Edgar Casey. And we're moving on to the Lemuria portion of it. And it says, Lemuria, or Mu, was a landmass lying in the Pacific Ocean and extending from the United States all the way to South America. The Lemurian stage of existence had to do with the race consciousness learning the lesson of physical attunement. Humanity as a whole progressed in the stages, and physical attunement was the key lesson during the period of history. The Lemurians were very physiological and spiritual people, much more so than the Atlanteans, who were much more technological and advanced and focused. And I myself have been told I have a Lemurian heart, so I believe I connect with Lemuria greatly. At this period of history, great dinosaurs roamed the earth. Because of this, the Lemurians, to do great extent, had to live underground. I did not know that. They lived in caves, hidden from the dinosaurs except to hunt for food. I did not know that. They would beautifully and artistically decorate their caves. The Lemurians were rather small physically. Men were 5 feet tall and women were a few inches shorter. The survival rate of children was not very high. They lived on grains, berries, and fruit. And now we're going to move on to Atlantis. So Atlantis was in the North Atlantic Ocean, and it compared in size to Europe and Russia combined. The eastern seaboard of the United States, then mostly underwater, comprised the coastal lowlands of Atlantis, which extended from Mexico as far as the Mediterranean Sea. As mentioned earlier, dinosaurs roamed the earth, and many of them were carnivorous. Many of the Atlanteans lived in the great walled cities to protect themselves from these beasts. Also, still existing in Atlantis were the grotesque animal-like humans that I spoke of earlier in the chapters. By certain segments of the society, they were called things and treated as slaves and beasts of burden. There were 2 groups of people in Atlantis: those who served the law of one, and those who called the sons of Belial. The sons of Belial were the followers of the Beelzebub. They were the lords of materialism, the selfish and materialistic and egocentrical group. These were the people who enslaved the things or animal humans that had hooves, claws, feathers, wings, or tails, or human bodies. Those people who served the law of one tried to help the things both spiritually and physically by taking them to great temples on the healing in Atlantis. And Thoth or Toth was also somebody who really tried to enforce the law of one. And, you know, if you're not abiding by these universal laws, then negative consequences come as a result. And Toth or Thoth, however you would like to say it, really kind of pushed that. Using technologies of crystals, light, and sound, they were often able to do surgery to remove these ungodlike appendages that no longer manifested in the Adam Kadam perfect design that God had created for the perfect human body. In 52,000 BC, a council of wise men in the five races was convened to discuss ways to get rid of the dinosaurs. A plan to use super potent chemical forces to poison the dinosaurs in their lairs was discussed. This was the plan, was implemented, and began to work. The first of the series of the three continental Earth change catastrophes occurred around 50,700 BC. This first catastrophe occurred as a result of the use of chemicals and explosives to annihilate the dinosaurs. Huge and numerous gas pockets were blown open into the lairs of the animals. I think I'm going to bypass some of this. So it created earthquakes, it created volcanic eruptions. The magnitude of the disturbances was so great that it caused the axis of the earth to shift, bringing the poles to their present position and causing the last great ice age. But in 2012, our poles shifted again. So the continent of Lemuria was completely destroyed, but strangely enough, Atlantis was not affected that much in terms of land mass. Lemuria, entire continent, sank to the bottom of the ocean as a result of the pole shift. Atlantis then became a more premier civilization on the planet. As mentioned earlier, Atlantis was technologically advanced, but much less spiritually advanced, much like the United States is today, so it says. As a matter of fact, many of the same souls who lived in Atlantis are reincarnated and living in the United States today. I believe that. The Great Cataclysm destroyed many of the dinosaurs because of the landmass transformation and the change in climate conditions. Atlantis begins now with premier civilization on the planet began to thrive. It was during this period of the extraterrestrials visited Atlantis and introduced them to advanced crystal technology. So I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to quit reading per usual, but it's interesting information. I didn't know any of this, and hence why I read these books, because I don't know a lot about Atlantis and Lemuria, and it's crazy. I didn't know that dinosaurs were around during that time period, so it's nice to be able to finally be able to put a timeline to that. So I hope this helps. We'll get into it further. I love you all. Have a blessed day. Namaste.